Hello everybody, welcome back to another mini guide on Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and this time we are going to be looking at Zelda and how to properly play the neutral with her. I am your host, Elusive, and let's not waste any more time and get right in on this little guide. So, the way Zelda is played is she is a defensive heavy character. So if you're someone who wants to just run in and bop somebody with a combo or rush them down, this is not the character who will do that job. There are other characters who do that. Don't look at Zelda if you want to be able to do that. So I'm just going to get into her kit and tell you how you want to play her. Your main idea is to use Zelda's kit to push people off of you. That's the magic word you have to remember with Zelda. It's all about the pushing. All of her moves essentially allow her to push people away from her, so you'll be able to get enough breathing space so you're able to go ahead and do your thing. So for an example, your forward tilt, up tilt, and your down tilt all serves as a reason to push. Your forward tilt has the most knockback and reach out of all your tilts, but do know that there is a slight wind up when you use it. So while it is a great spacing tool because you have a lot of space and a very impressive knockback with it. In fact, I'm pretty sure you have to stand like at least right here. You can still get a good hit off. Like, see, even from that position, if I just take a little step, I can still slap somebody with it. Like that's what you call the enchanted backhand, everybody. The up tilt is going to be your main juggling tool. It has a significant amount of reach, and I'm going to let you know from the ground and at low percentages, you're probably going to get only maybe 2 up tilts off, but then your opponent is going to be able to react. So they may come down with a Nair, they may jump away. If they happen to, or rather, this is what you would do in this situation. In the event that you don't know what your opponent is going to do or how they'll react, just up tilt twice and then shield. Chances are they may come down with a Nair instead and try to attack you. That way you're able to block and you can roll away, or you can go into a grab combo of your choosing. Or if you see that they jump away, even with you holding shield, you know, it's the safest option for you to take so you don't get any damage and not get the GameStop trade. And the most that they're going to do is put themselves even more in the air, which allows you to follow up with something else on the ground, such as a short hop up air or a Nair as they're trying to reposition. And if you know for a fact that they're going to jump in the air, you can pursue them with an up air or a Nair or any aerial of your choosing. So that's definitely something you want to keep in mind. But yes, up tilt is great coverage. It covers both in front and behind Zelda for that matter. But personally, I wouldn't rely with hitting people behind Zelda because it does take a while for it to reach behind her. Unlike Marth's up tilt, which instantly, well, I shouldn't say instantly do it, but it kind of works in a similar fashion, but it's faster, and it basically allows you to set up for some potential combos. Your down tilt comes out the fastest out of all your tilt moves, unlike your forward tilt and your up tilt, which does come out faster than your forward tilt, but down tilt is literally the fastest. It doesn't have as much knockback as the others, but what you are able to do is you can run in, get a grab, follow up with another aerial of yours. You can down tilt into a tilt at low percentages. Basically, the whole point of down tilt is to not only keep them off of you a little bit, but also to disrupt their rhythm, which is what you want to do with this character also. Any kind of rhythm disruption is always welcome. Next up, we have her jab. You know, it's just... I should also point out that her jab is really nice as well. It has a bit of a disjointed hitbox and it's a multi-hitter. It kind of works the same as Palutena's jab if you've seen that before, and it has a decent amount of knockback. Just know that the jab, while it is pretty nifty to use, it does have a bit of in lag afterward, and it's not safe on shield, so if you happen to miss your jab where it gets blocked, you are definitely going to get punished for using that, so do keep that in mind. Now the next one I need to talk about is her dash attack. Great for pushing people off of you, has a bit of a disjointed hitbox, also great for catching people who are landing or reposition themselves out of roll, what have you. Very good attack to use. It comes out fast as mess as well, and also does the job well in pushing people away so you can reposition yourself appropriately. Next up, we have her aerials, which basically are pretty self-explanatory with how her aerials work. Zelda does not have decent air drift, in my honest opinion. Like, she kind of moves a bit sluggish in the air compared to other characters. Like, Young Link has good air drift. Roy, Chrom also have good air drift. Zelda doesn't really have that great of an air drift, so you don't really want to use her aerials to approach people. But you can do some interesting things out of her aerials. It doesn't make them completely useless. Her Nair can basically go into pretty much anything, especially if you fall with it. Let's see, it can go into her fair or her bear if you are positioned properly. It can go into her up tilt, which can combo into other things, as you can see there. Her Nair is also great for coverage when you're just trying to land safely and you want to be able to you basically want your opponent to be able to respect you a little bit. But do know that the range for it is really not that spectacular. Like you see how long it takes for me to actually hit Mario on the way down with the Nair? Like, the hitbox for it is literally only on the upper half of her body, so even just trying to do this as a short hop is not an optimal way to use the Nair. You definitely don't want to use it for that. So the best way to use her Nair is either when you're on the way down or when you're in the middle of comboing somebody in the air. Her fair and her bear both come out relatively fast, and if you get the sweet spot off on it, then you can get some pretty nasty damage on it. It does like 24 damage a piece, plus it has amazing knockback. I should also point out that the sweet spot on both her fair and her bear are also a lot easier to land in this one. Maybe it's just me, but both her fair and her bear are very easy to land in this game compared to her other iterations. Her down air also is the same principle as well. It's a spike, it also has a sweet spot, and much like her bear and her fair, it's also very easy to land as well. And because this game made spikes on the stage non-techable, you can potentially set up for some interesting combos and setups with it as well. So I would definitely play around with that also, but do not rely on using it on the stage like as I'm doing right here, mainly because there should never be a time when you can use it, honestly, because of Zelda's movement overall and how she plays. But if the appropriate does show itself and you see a need to style on somebody, you can go ahead and do that. So that's just something that you can experiment with on your own and see what kind of combos you can come up with. You never know what you'll be able to find when you lab out a character. Now, as far as her grabs go, the only grabs that really matter, just to keep things simple and straight to the point, is her down throw, because that's your combo throw. Like I said, it can go into any of her aerials, her Nair, her bear and fair, if they don't DI properly. If they DI properly, that's never going to connect, so keep that in mind. And it can also go into her up air as well, but only at higher percentages, like around 60%. That's when you can start connecting her up air a lot more reliably. Any percentage lower than 60, it's not going to connect. And also her back throw. Actually, I need to raise Mario's percent a little bit. Her back throw is her kill throw. It's her strongest throw out of all the throws that she has. It has very, very impressive knockback. You're likely going to kill your opponent probably around, I want to say, 130. At 130, I've seen this throw kill. Yeah, it sends him back pretty far. And heck, even if you don't get the kill throw off, in all honesty, it allows you to set up for proper edge guarding with this character, because this character has some pretty nasty edge guarding tools at her disposal. And we'll get into those once we get to that step. So next up we have her smash attacks. Now, her forward smash is absolutely amazing. It comes out much faster than people would expect to come out, and that's what throws a good number of people off when they play against this character. It's not nearly as fast as Samus's forward smash. Like, that woman has the fastest forward smash in the game, but Zelda's forward smash does come out relatively quick. So you could literally dash dance and try to see where somebody's landing. Like, if you know exactly exactly where they're going to land. You can literally dash dance and like go into a forward smash if you see it right there. And you can also punish quite a decent number of moves that your opponent does, simply because it comes out fast enough to make it a punishable option move that you can use. The only problem is that because of the end lag after it, you know, you can get punished yourself, so I would not spam it too much, especially if you know for a fact that the move your opponent has tried to use on you is plus on shield and it's not punishable. Like Wolf's forward smash is one of those moves that is not punishable after it's used, so definitely keep that in mind. You want to be wary of those if you're going to use forward smash as a punish option. Instead, go for your tilts if it's necessary, but I'm just saying that forward smash is a really good option for Zelda as well. Very, very reliable. Her down smash, the sole purpose of it, get people away from you. It comes out fast, it's really easy to use, covers both in front and behind her, so it's a nice option to fall back on if you just want to quickly get them off of you like right away. And if I'm not mistaken, it should send them at a slightly downward angle. Yeah, it sends them at a slightly downward angle. So if you happen to use your down smash as they're trying to recover back on the stage, you'll instantly put them in a bad position just from using that move. It's going to force them to use their jump and can again set up for some nice edge guarding options, including that spike if you really want to style on somebody. But now I need to talk about her up smash, and I'm just going to say it right now, her up smash is poop. There's literally no reason for you to ever use her up smash. It doesn't go through platforms except for the final hit of the up smash. And plus, the actual range of her up smash is pretty bad, like really bad. You have to be like super close to them for that up smash to connect. And if you're fighting against someone who has a small hitbox or can lower their profile, like Inklings for example, this up smash is not going to connect. Like it's terrible. It's poop. I personally hardly use the up smash, and even for hard read options, sure, you can go for that, but her forward smash is just so much better for a hard read option simply because it hits harder and it has better knockback. And heck, even your down smash is a better option because it sends them down on that weird angle. So honestly, her up smash, like, there's some use, but it's really situational, and I honestly would not recommend using it all that much. It's easily her worst smash by far. Alright, and now we need to get into her specials, and her specials is where Zelda really shines. It's what allows a character to do what she does best, which is zone people. Starting things off with Nairu's Love. To sum it up, it's mainly used as a quick get off me tool. You got somebody on your case, use Nairu's Love. Somebody's pressuring you with like grab game and really wants to try and put your hands on you, Nairu's Love will prevent that. It has really good knockback on all percentages. Even at low percent, you know, that little push is enough to give you some breathing room. If they're trying to camp you at the ledge, you can Nairu's love them as well. Just keep in mind that when you use it in the air, it does slow down your descent, and in some cases that might not be a good thing. Another thing you also want to keep in mind is that it can reflect projectiles, so it's great for projectile defense. And another thing also is that it has a significant amount of end lag. So definitely be careful when you're using Nairu's Love. I wouldn't use it to the point where people will see it coming, because that's exactly what will happen if you go ahead and use Nairu's Love. They'll see it coming, they'll wait for the end lag to show up, and next thing you know, you're probably in a really bad spot because you've used it too many times to the point where your foe is going to see it and punish it accordingly. And also, because of this game's mechanic, which allows you to use any move at a dash, that also applies to Nairu's Love as well. So you can go ahead and foxtrot across the stage, and if you feel that there's a move coming that you definitely want to prepare for, like if your opponent's going to shoot, like let's say Samus is going to shoot her charge shot, you literally get in her face when you see the charge shot coming, and just Naru's love right there, and she'll be the one taking the hit instead of you, and you know, you'll be able to sit there and laugh at their face while you watch them die from getting that charge shot, or watch them take a hefty amount of damage and put them on a really bad position. Either way, that is something you can do with this character. Her side B is basically Dense Fire. This is one of your main zoning tools. You only ever want to use Dense Fire when your opponent is like, I would say, this far away from you. Okay, and I'm going to tell you the reason why. You see this? This is as early as you are able to detonate this move. Like, that's the earliest that you're able to detonate Dense Fire. So if, like, let's say your opponent's like right about here, all they would have to do is see the animation where you're casting Dense Fire, just run up to you and hit you. Because, again, that's as early as you're able to detonate it without influencing its direction or anything. Now, another thing you need to know about Dense Fire is that the move gets much stronger the longer you hold it down. At least the blast will get much stronger the more you hold it down. So at maximum range, you can deal not only a very hefty amount of damage, but you can also get a lot of knockback out of this move as well. So it definitely can kill your opponent if you hit them off stage at max range. Another thing to note is that it does have a sweet spot hitbox as well, which is at the very center of the move. You can use this to force air dodges, especially if your opponent decides to use a movement one, which can put them in a very laggy state. You can force them to recover early when they don't want to and get a good punish off of that. It's a great ledge pressure tool to use. And it also goes very well in conjunction with Zelda's persona, which is a Phantom Knight. Yeah, this guy right here. This dude is going to be your main zoning tool at all times. And that's mainly because of the different variants that you have, which can fit each and every situation as it calls for it. My personal favorite is that overhead one that you just saw, because it covers practically almost any approachable option. I say almost because if your opponent is full hopping, it's not going to hit them, obviously. But if your opponent likes to short hop and use short hop attacks to be able to approach, this move will definitely stop them in their tracks, assuming you have enough time to charge it and get it out of there. Now, charging up the move is really easy. You just have to hit down B once, and you don't have to hold the B button down in order to charge it up. It works very much like Sonic's homing attack. You just hit the B button and the move will charge on its own, and you hit it again if you want to release it early. And like I said earlier, releasing it at different timings of this move when it's forming will give you different variant attacks. I generally use the audio to tell exactly when the knight is going to use a certain attack because it makes certain sound effects as it's forming. You could also look at your knight to see exactly when it's going to use a certain move. Like if you want the overhead swing, just make sure you swing before the helmet comes down, because that's always going to net you the overhead all the time. Or if you just want the sword, you would just literally hit it as the sword is popping up to get a swat away, and it's very fast, quick, and easy to use. And like I said, the whole purpose of this guy is to keep people away from you, and because he serves as an extra body in a game where you cannot run past opponents, this move will keep people from being able to grab onto you as well. Like there are many times when I was fighting against other opponents and all they want to do is just run up and grab me. But as long as this knight is out, it pushes them away just enough so they can't get the grab off, and then I can go ahead and combo after that. Now, the only time you ever want to fully charge your knight is when your opponent is far away from you, and at fully charged, you can act right afterward. So, for example, if you fully charge a knight, wait a little bit, you can set up with a Dense Fire right after they get hit and hit them from behind, or you can fully charge a knight, run up to them and, like, you know, force them into a bad position, and then you can react accordingly. You basically can put yourself in a better position when you use the knight at fully charged. It's also worth noting that the fully suited knight uses the underhanded swing, which is what I call the pooper scooper. That is good for edge guarding as well, because it can literally scoop people off of the ledge if they happen to be hanging off of the ledge with it. But that's only when their invincibility frames are up, or if they have none at all when they're trying to go for ledge. So that's a very good option to use also. And plus, another thing I can point out with the fully overhead swing of the Phantom Knight, keep in mind that it's always going to send your opponent up and away. So if you happen to get the timing off for the swing, you can potentially go right into a Den's Fire. Let me see if I can demonstrate it here for you. Missed the timing again. Yeah, you could potentially do something like that, basically. If you happen to master the timing of getting that knight to hit them along with your Den's Fire, that can lead into some pretty nasty setup, and also it earns you style points if you happen to get it off. One thing you also want to keep in mind when it comes to using your Phantom Knight is that it is treated as a projectile. Please do your best to remember that. Even I forget at times when I'm fighting against somebody who has a reflector or the ability to pocket things like Villager and Isabel. It's treated as a projectile, so it can be reflected back at you, but you can also reflect it right back at as well, because I'm pretty sure you'll be able to react quickly enough to send it right back at them, especially if you hit them with the fully charged one, which allows you to react as soon as you send the move out. Now, if the move is straight up pocketed, then you really need to be careful, because the villager Animal Crossing characters can simply wait for you to do something, and when they know that you're going to be in enough in lag to throw that move out, they can throw it back at you. And on top of that, the move is buffed compared to its original. So definitely do be wary of that. And if there's one more thing that I need to talk about as far as special goes, there is her up B. Her up B is basically a kill option. It's also her main method of recovery. They made it a lot better in this game compared to previous ones, so it's not nearly as easy to tell where Zelda is going to be when you're recovering. Since a lot of recoveries in the game have been significantly nerfed, it's definitely much more favorable to have a character who can recover from very long distances. And Zelda's one of those characters that can do it. You can also, like I said earlier, can kill people with this recovery. Like, for example, if somebody's trying to like pressure your shield and they're literally like right in your face, you can like drop shield, instantly up B and kill them. Like, that's definitely an option you are capable of doing. You could also warp on your enemy when you know for a fact that it's going to hit them. Like, let's say K. Rool is shooting his gun and he's waiting for you to be able to reflect the shot back at him, or he's in the middle of putting the gun animation away, or you just see him throwing his crown and you know he's going to throw it. You can literally warp over to him, and if his numbers are blacker than my chicken, it'll definitely kill him. So that's one other thing you can do as well. That's just an example of one of the things you're able to do with Fiora's Wen. It's both a good recovery tool as well as an offensive tool if used appropriately. Other than that, that's pretty much all there really is to it when it comes to Zelda's kit. She's a very, very nice character. She's gotten a heck of a lot better since the previous iterations of Smash. Like I said, the main way you want to play neutral is to keep people away. Just a quick rundown: use her tilts, use her knight form, that's going to be your best friend. Just keep in mind it can be reflected and pocketed. Den's Fire in conjunction with your knight is going to help you with your zoning. And remember, it's all about pushing people away. That's what you overall want to do with this character. Anyway, seeing is believing. I'm going to be putting up some example videos of Zelda's playstyle, so you'll be able to see for yourself just how wonderful this character really is as a zoner. So stay tuned for that. I promise I'll be able to get those videos up most likely on the same day as I upload this one, or the day after. It's going to be one of the two. With New Year's around the corner, I'm going to be doing a lot of running around, so I'll take those upload times when I can get them. But definitely expect a video to pop up for Zelda, another video for Zelda to show up right after this one. As for the next character I'm going to be talking about in this game, well, I'm going to leave that up to speculation. Anyway guys, this is Too Elusive, and as always, play until your thumbs fall off, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out!